In 2024, a courtroom in Kentucky accidentally cracked open something TikTok never wanted public: 30 pages of internal research. Buried inside, a single number: 260. That's how many videos it takes before TikTok becomes a compulsion. Their own engineers measured it: 35 minutes of scrolling. And when they saw the data, they didn't slow the feed down, they made it faster. A company now worth more than $500 billion, revenue bigger than Facebook's, an algorithm that governments on 3 continents have tried to shut down, and the man who built it all quietly walked away at 38 years old. Nearly 2 billion people open TikTok every month. In 155 countries, 39 languages, 5.5 billion downloads since launch. The average user spends close to an hour inside the app every day. Some open it 19 times between waking up and going to sleep. More daily screen time than Facebook, more than Instagram, more than YouTube, more than any social platform ever built. From the outside, it looks harmless: dance clips, cooking videos, creators going viral from their bedrooms. A platform so powerful that a 15-second sound clip can turn an unknown musician into a global star overnight. The most democratic media platform in history, where a person with 0 followers can reach millions. There's a good chance that if you're watching this, TikTok is on your phone right now, or Reels, or Shorts, and there's a good chance it was opened today, without much thought about why. Maybe on the commute, maybe in bed, maybe right before watching this video. That's the version of TikTok most people know: a fun app, background noise, a way to fill the quiet parts of a day. But in 2021, an employee inside ByteDance's Beijing headquarters decided the world needed to see what was actually running underneath, and what they revealed changed the entire conversation. The document was called TikTok Algo 101, 12 pages, internal. Written by ByteDance's engineering team in Beijing for non-technical employees who needed to understand the recommendation system. Not a marketing pitch, not a press release, a blueprint. The person who leaked it gave it to the New York Times because they were disturbed by what it described. Specifically, how TikTok knowingly steered users toward content designed to keep them sad and scrolling. TikTok confirmed the document was authentic, and here's what it revealed publicly. TikTok's mission is creativity, community, self-expression. That's the brand, that's the press release. But inside the company, engineers were measuring something completely different. Not happiness, not whether the app improved anyone's day, not whether people felt connected. 2 numbers: did they come back tomorrow, and how long could they be kept today? Retention and time spent. Those 2 metrics drove every decision inside the recommendation system. Every video scored by a formula: predicted engagement, weighted; estimated playtime, weighted; predicted replay, weighted. Each variable tuned by machine learning for every user, on every video. Billions of calculations every hour. But the formula is just math. The part that changes everything is what feeds it. Most platforms learn from conscious actions: a like, a follow, a search query, things a person decides to share. TikTok goes deeper. It tracks hesitation, that half-second pause before scrolling past a video, the one most people don't even realize they're making, gets logged. Scroll speed, whether a finger slows down, whether the volume goes up or stays muted, whether someone lingers on a comment section before moving on. Replay behavior, even which fraction of a video gets rewatched. These aren't decisions, they're reflexes, micro behaviors that happen below conscious awareness. And TikTok treats every single one as a signal about who someone really is. But it goes further than behavior. TikTok's privacy policy grants the app permission to collect face prints, voice prints, keystroke patterns, clipboard content, battery state, connected audio devices, objects, and scenery that appear in uploaded videos. A US senator called it a virtual dossier on every user. TikTok didn't deny it. And here's the part that makes all of this different from Instagram or YouTube. Those platforms show content based on who someone follows. TikTok doesn't need followers. doesn't need search history. It builds a profile from scratch, using signals the user didn't know they were sending. Within a few dozen swipes, the system knows what kind of person is holding the phone, not because they said so, because their thumbs told it. Now here's the thing. The Kentucky lawsuit didn't just reveal how TikTok's algorithm works. It revealed that TikTok studied what the algorithm does to people and used the data to make the feed more compelling, not less. 260 videos. That was the threshold. After 260 videos, usage patterns shift from casual to compulsive. That can happen in 35 minutes, half an hour of scrolling, and the behavioral pattern locks in. Their own internal research described the effects. Compulsive usage correlates with loss of analytical skills, memory formation, contextual thinking, conversational depth, empathy, and increased anxiety. Most companies would call that a warning. TikTok called it a benchmark. The screen time tools, the ones marketed to parents and regulators as proof the company cares, internal documents described their real world impact as negligible. They were built for appearances. The data showed they didn't change behavior. TikTok knew. They promoted them anyway. And underneath even this, the leaked document revealed that TikTok's algorithm deliberately surfaces content triggering negative emotion because sadness extends sessions. A person scrolling through melancholy stays longer than a person scrolling through joy. The algorithm learned that pattern, and it leans into it. The entire feed runs on the same principle as a slot machine, variable rewards. Every swipe delivers something different, sometimes a hit, sometimes a miss, sometimes something so unexpected it triggers a replay. That unpredictability is the single most powerful habit forming mechanism in behavioral psychology. The difference is, a slot machine stays in the casino. This one fits in a pocket, opens 19 times a day, and it's free. But here's the oh shit moment most people miss. ByteDance operates a separate version of TikTok inside China. It's called Douyin, and for Chinese children under 14, Douyin limits usage to 40 minutes per day. Between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. only, the feed switches to educational content, science experiments, museum exhibits, history lessons. There's even a mandatory pause between videos to break the scroll pattern. The international version of TikTok, the one used by American and European teenagers, has none of that. Same company, same engineers, two products. One protects children, the other optimizes their attention. Brain rot. That was Oxford's word of the year in 2024. Started as a joke teenagers made about scrolling too long, but neuroscience caught up to the punchline. In 2025, a study published in Neuroimage found structural brain differences in heavy short video users, increased gray matter in the orbitofrontal cortex, the region that processes reward value and drives decisions about what feels worth it. The brain physically reshapes itself around the scroll, not metaphorically, measurably. The same reward circuitry activated by gambling, and the heaviest users, teenagers, ages 18 to 24 average over 3 hours a day on TikTok. Younger users, even more. 59% of American adults under 30 use it. For many of them, it's the first app opened in the morning and the last thing seen before sleep. A generation growing up with brains still forming impulse control, spending unprecedented hours inside a system engineered to maximize session length, not by accident, by architecture. But TikTok doesn't just shape what people watch, it shapes what they believe is normal. In 2020, The Intercept published leaked moderation documents showing TikTok instructed its own moderators to suppress content from users deemed unattractive. The documents listed specific traits: abnormal body shape, ugly facial looks, dwarfism, too many wrinkles, eye disorders. Videos filmed in shabby or dilapidated environments were buried from new users too. The justification wasn't safety. It wasn't community guidelines. It was retention. A feed full of attractive faces in clean settings keeps people scrolling. Unattractive content creates friction. Friction means someone might close the app. And closing the app is the one thing the system is designed to prevent. A billion teenagers scrolling through a curated world where everyone looks a certain way. Nobody told them the feed was edited. Nobody told them what was being hidden. The algorithm isn't reflecting reality, it's constructing one, deciding what 2 billion people see every day and what disappears. None of this happened by accident. Zhang Yiming founded ByteDance in a rented apartment in Beijing in 2012. He was 29, a software engineer who'd left Microsoft because he wanted to build the machine, not be a part in one. He believed algorithms could understand what a person wanted before the person knew themselves. His first app, Tutiao, hit 13 million daily users in 18 months. No editors, no marketing budget, just the algorithm deciding what each person would read next. That single idea, that a machine could know its users better than they knew themselves, became the foundation of everything that followed. Then came TikTok, then the billion-dollar acquisition of musical.ly to absorb the American market, then the pandemic, and the fastest growth in social media history. By 2025, ByteDance's quarterly revenue surpassed Meta's, $43 billion in a single quarter. By 2026, the company was valued at $550 billion. Zhang became China's richest person, worth over 69 billion. Every second of global screen time, flowing upward into that number. And then at 38, he stepped down, wrote that he preferred being online, reading, listening to music, and contemplating what may be possible. He said he lacked the skills to be a good manager. The truth is, he'd already built a system that didn't need him anymore. The architect left. The machine kept running, getting faster, getting smarter, getting harder to turn off. India banned TikTok in June of 2020. 200 million users, gone overnight. The largest market outside China, wiped clean with a single government order. The ban is still in place today. India's internet didn't collapse. Other apps filled the gap within months, but TikTok's revenue kept climbing because the rest of the world kept scrolling. The United States nearly followed. In January 2025, TikTok went dark for 170 million American users. 14 hours of silence. Congress had passed a law forcing ByteDance to sell or face a permanent shutdown. The Supreme Court upheld it. A deal eventually kept the app alive, but the message from Washington was unmistakable. The most popular app in America had been treated as a national security concern. Part of the reason, a 2022 investigation by BuzzFeed News revealed leaked audio from internal ByteDance meetings. Engineers in China had repeatedly accessed American user data, despite TikTok's public claims that all US data was stored domestically. One employee was recorded saying that everything is seen in China. TikTok had told Congress the opposite. 35 countries now restrict TikTok in some form. Government device bans, age limits, full consumer shutdowns. The most restricted app in the world is also the most downloaded. But while governments spent years debating whether to ban TikTok, every major platform quietly copied it. Instagram built Reels, YouTube built Shorts, Facebook restructured its entire feed around algorithmic discovery instead of friend connections. Snapchat followed. The attention architecture TikTok invented now runs inside nearly every app on your phone. The same variable reward mechanics, the same optimization for time spent, the same implicit signal tracking, the same interest graph. The system isn't just one app anymore. It's the operating logic of the entire social media industry, and every additional second spent inside that system generates revenue. TikTok alone brought in over $23 billion in 2024. ByteDance surpassed Meta in quarterly revenue by 2025, $500 billion valuation by 2026. The longer someone scrolls, the more ads get served. The more ads get served, the more the machine is worth. That's the incentive underneath everything. That's why the feed gets faster instead of slower. That's why the screen time tools don't work. That's why 200 million Indian users could disappear overnight, and it barely dented the revenue. And that's why the system was never designed to let go. Now, to be fair, TikTok changed the game. A creator with zero followers can reach millions of people. Small businesses have launched from a single viral clip. Musicians have built entire careers in 15 seconds. Independent voices have found audiences that traditional media would never have given them. For billions of people around the world, TikTok is where they discover music, news, culture, and community that's real, that matters. And nothing in this story erases that. But the system underneath it measured the exact line between entertainment and compulsion, documented what happens when someone crosses that line, built screen time tools that their own internal data showed were useless, suppressed creators it deemed unattractive because beauty keeps people scrolling, pushed emotionally negative content because sadness extends sessions, and protected children in China with strict time limits and educational feeds while optimizing their attention everywhere else. 260 videos. That was the number from the courtroom, measured in internal research, exposed in court filings. 35 minutes. TikTok didn't become the most powerful media platform in history because it understood videos. It became the most powerful because it understood people, their boredom, their loneliness, their curiosity, their sadness. Every swipe taught the system something new about the person swiping. Every pause was a confession the user never meant to make. Every hesitation became data until eventually the machine could predict what would keep someone watching before they knew it themselves. And once a system can predict attention, it doesn't need to ask for it. Follow the money, see the system, subscribe to Magnifico Mint, and hit that like button. And I will see you in the next one.